Good evening, I'm Patrick Serrano, and this is the KQBH News Update. This last Tuesday, Los Angeles County's top watchdog and Inspector General Max Huntsman spoke with the Board of Supervisors, voicing concern of the rising number of inmate deaths and deputy-involved shootings. Inspector General Max Huntsman spoke, "Even if you leave out COVID, this year had more in-custody deaths than previously. And out on the streets, the number of shootings has gone up as well. Year over year, it's increased. Those are both very troubling figures." While Huntsman didn't cite how many of the in-custody deaths were coronavirus-related, Huntsman's quarterly report revealed that 2020 ended with 41 in-custody deaths, which doubled the total seen in 2016. The previous high was 34 in 2013. The Board of Supervisors requested that the sheriffs work with the county counselor and the Office of Immigrant Affairs to tweak policies and practices to allow victims and survivors of crimes who are undocumented to access and obtain police reports and other relevant documents without the need for a government-issued identification. Sheriff's Department Brendan Corbett told the board Tuesday that ICE submitted 983 requests in 2020 to detain inmates for transfer upon their release from county jail. 80% of those inmates didn't qualify for transfer based on state law or LASD policy. Of the remaining 128, 43 inmates were transferred to ICE, according to LASD summary. That number represents less than 1/10 of the number of transfers made in the prior year. This information was collected by the City News Service and the Los Angeles Daily News. On Friday, Los Angeles County may be given the okay to leave the most restrictive coronavirus purple tier. Governor Gavin Newsom confirmed that when the goal of administering 2 million COVID-19 vaccines in low-income and hard-hit communities, LA County will be able to move out of the most restrictive purple tier, or the case rate of 10 per 100,000 residents. With LA County's current case rate of 5.2 per 100,000 residents, the county will then be in the red tier, allowing counties to reopen indoor restaurants and movie theaters at 25% capacity, fitness centers at 10% capacity, and increase capacity in retail stores and shopping malls. Los Angeles County Public Health Director Barbara Ferrer sounded a more cautious note Wednesday, speaking, "Increasingly, there has been concern of a worldwide fourth wave of COVID-19 as cases started to rise in the last week of February, following 6 weeks of decline, particularly in Europe." Ferrer also noted that while the county received its largest allocation to date of COVID-19 vaccine this week, at more than 300,000 doses, that number is expected to drop off because the county will not be receiving any doses of the new single-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine for the next 2 weeks due to a manufacturing and production issue. Los Angeles Unified School District campuses will resume in-person instruction in mid-April for preschool and elementary students, and by the end of April for secondary students under the tentative agreement announced Tuesday evening between the district and the teachers union. Los Angeles Unified School District Superintendent Austin Buettner and United Teachers Los Angeles President Cecilia Miart Cruz said in a joint statement, "The agreement provides for the reopening of schools when Los Angeles County is in the red tier according to the state school guidelines, that all staff have access to the COVID vaccine, and that schools are kept clean and safe." In Minnesota, a Minneapolis judge has granted prosecutors' request to add a third-degree murder count against Derek Chauvin, the former officer charged in the murder of George Floyd last May. At least 3 weeks have been set aside to complete a jury of 12 plus 2 alternates. The other officers at the scene of George Floyd's murder face an August trial on aiding and abetting charges. The defense hasn't said whether Chauvin will testify in his own defense. In Louisville, Kentucky, a Jefferson County Circuit Court judge dismissed charges against Kenneth Walker with prejudice on Monday morning, meaning the charges can't be brought up again. Kenneth Walker was accused of shooting an officer when police busted down Breonna Taylor's apartment door during a drug raid. This Saturday, March 13th, it will be a year since Breonna Taylor's life was taken. A peaceful bike ride with a peaceful message of love and unity will be hosted by Ride for Black Lives, a 26-mile loop bike ride in commemoration of 1 year passing since Breonna Taylor's life was taken. The ride gathers at 8 a.m. for a prompt 8:15 a.m. departure from Pan Pacific Park at 7600 Beverly Boulevard in Mid-City West. Masks will be required, and details you can find at Ride for Black Lives at their Instagram. I'm Patrick Serrano for KQBH News 101.5, KQBH-LP, Los Angeles, California, a community service of Boyle Heights Arts Conservatory. You can find us with the app LP FM LA.